The month of December has officially started, meaning Christmas is just around the corner. It is at this time of the year when all of the malls, bazaars, and tiangues are full of shoppers, shopping for decorations, gifts, and food for their Noche Buena. It is also this time when many take advantage of the Christmas rush. Bombarded by the hordes of stores and bazaars selling different items, the shopper might get confused and buy something that is of poor quality or has a hidden defect. Most stores will say that they have a no return, no exchange policy. But under the Consumer Rights Act, this policy is prohibited. In fact, no words to that effect shall be written in receipts or in anywhere in the store or business establishment. The prohibition of such policy is to correct the notion of most shoppers that they don't have the right to return or exchange items that are defective or demand for remedies or compensation for bad services. Aside from the right to return and exchange defective products and services, what are the other rights of consumers under the Consumer Rights Act? What should shoppers look out for when shopping at malls, bazaars, and tiangues? If a shopper feels that his rights have been violated, where and how can he complain about it?
Good evening. You are watching Legal Help Desk. This show is about making the law work for you by giving legal advice on topics that matter to you. I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno.
And I'm Attorney Rod Nepomuceno. Tonight, we will discuss your legal rights as consumers, especially this holiday season. What you need to know about the Consumer Act of the Philippines and what you need to do to assert those rights in stores and other establishments.
Our guest for tonight is from the Department of Trade and Industry, Gerald Calderon, Officer in charge of the Trade Policy Division of the Consumer Protection and Advocacy Bureau. Good evening and thank you for being with us again, Gerald.
Good evening, Attorney Karen. Good evening, Attorney
Gerald. Okay, so no return, no exchange.
Yeah, I know.
Famous
Gerald was
lines.
saying how busy he is
Yeah.
now or their office is with the holiday season.
Yeah, ang daming complaints, no?
Yeah, naka-overdrive siguro rin yung pagbili ng mga consumers. So, first of all, Gerald, what is this Consumer Protection Rights Act?
Well, yung pong sinasabi ho natin Consumer Protection Rights is basically a product of the Republic Act 7394 o yung tinatawag ho natin Consumer Act of the Philippines. The Consumer Act of the Philippines provides for a basically protection of consumers against all kinds of deceptive sales act and practices, unconscionable sales act and practices, unfair or misleading advertisements, and all kinds of deceptions that may be related to the selling of a particular product.
Why do you think that we needed this Consumer Act? Is it because maraming mga businessmen talaga na medyo, if makakaisa sila sa consumer and they'll do it? Why the need for this? And can consumers really avail of the provisions of this act and really be protected?
Nakasaad ho lahat po ng mga remedies available for the consumers in case meron mo silang nabili na defective at hindi nasasang-ayon sa specs na gusto ng ating mga consumer. At hindi lang po doon na remedies na para po sa mga consumers, meron din pong corresponding penalties, administrative or criminal man.
Gerald, when you mentioned yung mga types of remedies, can you give us yung mga main types of remedies under the Consumer Rights Act? Kanina we mentioned yung no return, no exchange policy. We often see this, pero ang dami pa rin nagsusulat niyan. So, ang dami bumibili, hindi nila alam na pwede nilang isole because usually when you ask yung mga sales lady, they really insist na hindi pwedeng isole kahit na may sira or lalo na pag sales. Is that allowed? Yung ano yung mga main remedies available to consumers?
Or maybe, absolute ba talaga? Absolute ba yung rule na yun? No return, no exchange? It's an absolute rule. Walang exception siya.
Punta muna tayo kung ano yung mga remedies available sa consumer. Meron tayong tinatawag na yung 3 R para hindi mo makalimutan ng ating consumer.
3 Rs, okay.
Yung meron tayong repair, meron ho tayong refund, at saka meron tayong replacement. In case yung repair ay hindi pwedeng talagang ma-repair yung isang produkto.
Okay. So, but
So
what if...
that assumes na defective nga. Okay.
Yes.
Like in this case, let's say I don't want it repaired. I want it replaced. Kasi ayokong bagay na binili ko, sira na, ni-repair lang. Can I insist as a consumer na, no, I want it replaced?
Basically, pwede naman ho.
You can insist.
You can insist.
So ikaw ang pwede, as a consumer, yung decision whether to choose repair, refund, or replacement is up to you.
Yes.
Hindi pwedeng i-impose sa'yo nung nagbenta na we insist na repair lang, hindi replacement or refund.
Meron din naman kasing instances, if I may, na hindi yung absolute talaga na you go directly to repair, to refund or replacement. If the product by its very nature can be repaired, then it can go through that process of repair.
Pero natanggal lang yung particular screw,
Yes,
ganun, ganun, di ba?
And I think this also applies for buying cars because not all cars are covered by the Lemon Law. So if this is something that you bought before the enactment of the Lemon Law, then perhaps for the car dealer, mas maigi na i-repair nila before they replace it.
Yes.
So this is an option that they can insist.
Actually, dyan yung papasok ng warranty, provisions ng Consumer Act.
Yeah.
Kung hindi po pwedeng ipasok yan sa coverage ng Lemon Law, meron naman tayong warranty provisions dun sa Consumer Act na wherein yung tatlong 3 Rs ay available sa consumer.
And Gerald, what about yung kanina nagsingit ako ng konting Christmas rush shopping. Nakakita naman ako ng sign that said, no refund, only exchange. So earlier we mentioned na bawal talaga ang no refund, no exchange policies. But what if the policy is refund is not allowed, but you can exchange it? Is that allowed under the law?
Meron ho tayo kasing tinatawag ho na no return, no exchange policy na bawal talaga.
In other words, bawal magka-policy na no return.
So you can
exchange,
report
yes.
the store if they have that type of policy.
Pwede po kung ang isang consumer ay nakapag-encounter ng ganyang klaseng policy ng isang store. Meron po tayong tinatawag ho na Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau. Or pwede ho silang tumawag po sa amin, yung Consumer Protection and Advocacy Bureau, na kung saan pwede ho nilang idulog sa amin, sabihin ho nila kung ano ho ang problema doon sa kanila nabili. At meron din naman ho tayong DTI Direct. DTI Direct na ang pwede ko bang i-plug?
Yes, of course.
751-3330 po yan. At yung sa cellphone number po namin ay 0917-834-3330.
Yeah, we're posting it para our televiewers
Yes.
can write it
Even
down.
I want to memorize
Ako rin.
these numbers because sometimes I really encounter stores na matigas ulo even if
Yeah.
there is a defect. Especially pag sales, Gerald, they insist.
Yeah,
It's a
pag
final sale, bawal isole,
Oo.
bawal i-exchange.
So going back na sa question ko earlier, is this an absolute rule? Meaning, walang exceptions yan? Or are there stores, by the nature of their product, can say no return, no exchange? Kunyari, consumable or, di ba?
What
something
if
like that,
you
eh.
already opened it? Bumili ka sa grocery ng...
Medyo nabuksan mo na.
Oo, bumili ka ng jar ng peanut butter. Pagkain mo parang pangit na yung quality, masyado, luma na. Is that something that you can return? Kasi nabuksan mo na.
Definitely. Pwede hong i-soli yan, at meron pang to the extent na kung masira pa yung tiyan mo sa pagkain, pwede mo pa rin idulog yan sa ibang ahensya.
Now, in terms of the period, may mga iba, pwede, pero within 7 days. I bought something kanina, habol din ako ng Christmas shopping. Nakalagay, exchange has to be within 7 days.
Is that allowed? Considering, kunwari, if you're very busy and you only
Yes.
checked yung item after the 8th day, after 7, tapos na,
medyo busy ka,
obviously
oh.
7 days, tapos nakita mo may punit, may butas. Is that something that you can insist on? Na isusoli mo pa rin because of the defect in the product?
Hindi po allowed yan, ano?
Yung
Na may
period.
ganung
Yung may
policy
period,
na may
either
period.
7 days siya o hindi. As long as talaga nakita mo na defective siya or merong imperfection doon sa produkto.
Hindi naman yata siguro pwedeng 10 years or
Hindi.
meron ano
Kailangan within the warranty period, basically.
Okay.
The warranty period
Warranty period.
provided under the law.
Provided under the law.
Under
Now,
the law.
okay, for example, in my case, no, I bought a DVD. Hindi siya naman defective per se, pero di ba sa DVD meron kang options na English, Portuguese, ganun. Walang English option. Pero hindi ko nabalik, I haven't returned it because I haven't had the time. Yan ba, pag ganun, wala siyang defect pero hindi ko lang ma-choose yung language. Pwede naman i-return siguro yan, any period, any time.
Kung mere change of mind, ano, basically.
Hindi
Or
change of mind to.
hindi change of
Kasi,
mind.
in other words, walang option ng English. Kasi, how can I understand it? So basically, I'll watch the movie in Chinese or Japanese. Yung ganun.
Pero bago po niyo binili yun, nagtanong ho ba kayo na ganito, na meron po ba siyang English language na...
Well, I would
dapat-
assume kasi dito ko binili, no? And the option normally yung options sa DVD, English, Chinese ganun, di ba? At any rate, I guess my question is more not so much my personal purchase, but how long something like a DVD or something like clothing, ano yung warranty period doon?
Basically, ang warranty period naman, if kung wala doon sa kanyang written contract, pwede naman yan doon sa implied na sinasabi nila. At yung implied na yan, I can only say in layman's term, na nasasang-ayon doon kung talagang dapat yung kanyang DVD na nakuha mo, basically dapat nandun lahat ng language.
Yes,
for that
Correct.
particular...
Correct. So so walang period. I guess we're saying walang
period.
Okay.
Pero doon sa ating batas, basically, ang implied warranty nakasad doon, it's not less than 60 days, 60 days, not more than
Not less than 60 days.
Yes,
Not more than 1 year.
Yes.
Okay. So yung pala yung implied warranty
Yes.
yun.
So not more than 1 year.
So okay. So it applies to any item. For example, clothes.
By the, hindi naman lahat applicable doon eh.
Hindi applicable. Okay. So case to case pa rin.
Sa nature niya.
The nature of the item.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
marami pa tayong itatanong kay Gerald because I'm sure all the Christmas shoppers out there have a lot of concerns to raise and a lot of questions, and especially for those who like to go shopping all year round. So please stay tuned. Legal Help Desk will return after these messages.
The Department of Trade and Industry has given out tips for shoppers when it comes to shopping this Christmas season. This includes familiarizing yourself with the arrangements of stocks in the stores you frequent to save time from finding the items you need or want. To save you more time, don't be afraid to ask the assistance of store staff to locate items and information about them. Compare prices from other stores. Go for value, not the brand. When it comes to food shopping, look for expiry dates to ensure freshness. Read labels carefully and take note of the nutritional content of food products. Keep an eye out for special price reductions and sales of products that can be used in the future. And when it comes to warranties, keep the warranty together with the receipt. Be aware of the terms and conditions of the warranty contract. Check whether the replacement part used is genuine and not defective. Contact the authorized dealer or service repair for any clarification. Be aware of your consumer rights and responsibilities, and keep these tips in mind. To get the full copy of the Consumer Rights Act, go to www.dti.gov.ph.
You're still watching Legal Help Desk with our guest, Officer in charge of the DTI, Gerald Calderon. So
Okay.
Gerald, just to leave the topic before we move on. So is a policy na refund not allowed but exchange is allowed? So refund, no refund but exchange only policy. Is that allowed?
Hindi po allowed po yun sa rules ng DTI.
So,
ang guideline natin,
to summarize, all three dapat. Yung all three
so ang
options.
guideline dapat repair, refund, or
Replacement.
replacement should be available at the election of the consumer. So
Yes.
sila yung mamimili kung anong remedies.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about resibo and warranty. Kasi sometimes I would buy something, they would say, sir, tago niyo yung resibo kasi para sa warranty. But there are some products naman, let's say electronic items, meron pang I have to fill up a warranty card. Can we clarify that? I mean, when can I avail of the warranty? Does it require that I have an OR, and what if I lose it? No? So in other words, let's talk about the importance of the official receipt in terms of being able to avail of the warranty of the product.
Or any of the three remedies for
Yes,
that matter.
yes.
Because some people, even
Correct.
if it's defective, kunwari, obvious naman na defective, but if you can't produce the receipt, they refuse to do the return or the refund.
Doon po kasi sa ating Consumer Act, for purposes of the 3 Rs, yung ating repair, refund, and replacement, napaka-importante po talaga na we need to have the official receipt. Or in the absence of our official receipt, in case this is a appliance thing, kailangan meron ding warranty card. That's a
Warranty card.
substitute for the official receipt.
Okay. So it is important.
Yes, it is important.
And absent of which, the consumer may lose his or her right of the 3 Rs.
Yes.
Okay. And
But, well, to the extent, of course, na kung wala yung dalawang document that required under the Consumer Act, there is also a need for the consumer to, ito na, yung medyo legal na to, siguro, mag-execute siya ng affidavit that the product that he purchases from that particular store.
So affidavit. So depending, but upon the discretion of the store na lang whether
Yes,
they would
upon the
accept
discretion,
the
yes.
affidavit or not, diba?
Pero basically, OR or warranty card.
Kailangan. Okay.
What about other types of stores, meaning bazaars, tiangges, or online shopping, which
Minsan
are
kasi walang
basically
receipt yan
the
eh.
popular avenues for shopping as well, lalo na pag Christmas. So are those remedies also available to consumers if you buy from bazaars, online?
Well, payo lang sa ating consumers. If they want to buy something from the bazaars or tiangge, make it sure na meron itong business name, kung ito ay single proprietor or meron itong business permit, meron itong TIN or yung tax identification number in case magbibigay sila ng resibo. The reason why I want to share with this to our purchasers or consumers because napaka-importante yan kasi pagka nagkaroon ng problema yung isang produkto, we can easily go back to the stores where that particular product were purchased.
So in other words, mga normally tiangge kasi walang resibo.
Yes.
Medyo mahirap to run after them.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Especially if they're not registered, DTI it would be difficult for DTI to impose yung mga penalties nyo
Exactly.
on that specific proprietor or business establishment.
Kasi ito, usually mga transient ito eh. In a
They
particular
move from
place,
one
yes.
move from one place to another,
Yes.
di ba? So yun ang ikaw you would suggest, I guess you're not discouraging them from
Yes,
buying.
yes.
But if they buy man lang, they should ask at least for the TIN or the business name of the proprietor.
Or even online. That's difficult for DTI to
Right.
summon them for a possible settlement.
Okay. All right. We have some questions from our viewers. Ayan na. Agnes asks, I ordered a book online and I've already paid for it, but I did not receive any email about the confirmation for the shipment or even a receipt of payment. I already contacted the online shopping site, but they still haven't replied to my messages. What else can I do aside from doing follow-up reports? The online purchase. So medyo, this is something that we should discuss then, no? Online purchases.
Well, kung talagang meron ng pagkukulang, ano, yung stores and yung kaninang facts na binanggit mo, it's talagang meron na siyang cost of action. Pagka ganon, pwede nang idulog yung kanyang problema sa amin. And we can go through the usual process that we do in the DTI.
Is the usual process, meron bang form that they have to fill up or is there a pleading that they have to file?
Meron kasi tayong tinatawag na dalawang stages for alternative dispute resolution. Yung tinatawag nating mediation, they can easily email to us.
Email.
Or they can write, or they can text if that could be. Para at least makapag-issue tayo ng notice to the parties concerned for a non-formal way of resolving disputes.
Does this normally work? Yung
Oo,
having a mediation?
yes. Alam nyo, meron po kaming 97% resolution of all these disputes.
97%.
Okay, so for the viewers out there, you should remember the numbers of the DTI that we posted earlier.
They can
because
text you directly.
They have a 97% success rate of resolving disputes between consumers and sellers. Our next question is from Twitter user @TweetyTweets. In many stores, I noticed that they allow the return and exchange of items within 7 days from the day of purchase. Is this allowed by our laws? So this is similar to Rod's question kanina.
I purchased
7-day
7
time
days.
limit. Is that allowed?
Company policy lang po ito. Company policy
So
lang, 7
it's
days.
recommendatory but they can't insist on it. The store cannot insist on it and I can go, no, kahit na beyond 7 days, I can
Yes, you can.
claim
Especially
3 hours. Refund, replacement, repair.
Especially if this is a defective product or there is an imperfection in the product being purchased.
Okay, all right. Okay, from Winston. I went to an electronics store because of the promo sale they were having. The salesman made me an offer I couldn't refuse. They basically said if I bought a DSLR camera, I would get 2 point-and-shoot cameras for free, provided that I charged the purchase with my credit card on an installment basis and with 0% interest. It all seemed too good to be true until I received my credit card bill and found that I was charged for the 2 cameras that was supposed to be free. How can I demand for a refund for this? This was not what I was told would happen. So may parang bonus point and shoot. Parang too good to be true nga. Parang 1 DSLR with 2 free as long as you buy it in installment. Yan ba, can he go after the store or what does he need to prove to show na nadaya siya?
Actually, yung kanyang reklamo, it can also be considered a deceptive sales hacking practice.
Deceptive.
Kaya meron po siyang cause of action sa amin, pwede niyang idulog yung kanyang problema.
So not only a refund, but pwede pang ma-penalize or
Yes,
maparusahan yung
yes.
nagbenta. What are the normal penalties for deceptive sales practices?
Doon sa ating Consumer Act, meron tayong administrative fine na amounting to 500 pesos to 300,000 pesos.
Ang laki ng 300,000.
Depending on the nature of
the violation.
Okay. We have another question from Aimee. I purchased a dancing speaker online. What's a dancing speaker?
Dancing speaker.
It's made of clear plastic with liquid inside it. When I got the item, there was a crack and the liquid leaked out. The seller said it was no longer their responsibility as it falls under the courier. Who should be responsible for situations like this then? Who should go after whom here? Is it the consumer to seller, the seller to courier, or the consumer to courier? So ang nakasira, well, they're claiming that it's the carrier.
Based doon sa kanyang story, on the complainant, ang talagang nasa frontline is the store.
Meaning yung transaction is between the consumer and the store, not the courier.
Not the courier.
Agent pa rin yung courier. No?
Yes. So, yon. Pagka may problema siyang nabili na tulad ng ganitong nabanggit ng complainant, store is usually the responsible person that have to be subject of this either mediation or adjudication.
So it's up after the seller, and then it's the seller that can go after the courier.
Yes.
Okay. So you can really insist that the seller either replace, repair, or refund your money in exchange for that defective product. Well, we still have a lot to discuss, and I'm sure we'll get more questions from our viewers. So stay tuned. Legal Help Desk will return after the short break. You're still tuned in to Legal Help Desk with our guest, Gerald Calderon, OIC of the DTI. And now joining us is Tony Dizon, Project Coordinator of the Eco Waste Coalition. Good evening and thank you for being with us, Tony.
Good evening, Tony.
Good evening
Ayan.
and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Dami natin props ngayon.
Oo nga eh. Biglang maraming muntik na ako mag-Christmas shopping bigla eh.
Bibili sana ako eh. But as it turns out, these are items that we should be worried about, di ba?
Yes.
So, kasi maraming nagko-complain. Minsan, as we mentioned, Gerald, earlier, maybe it's not patently defective, but maybe later on, once it's used, it turns out na I guess, na poison ang bata or, and they discover
Or
it's from,
sometimes you don't
diba?
even know
Or
that they
allergies.
are being slowly poisoned by these types of toys that have toxic chemicals in them. But maybe, Tony, you can discuss with us, ano ba yung danger with these types of products, or at least the ones that you're showing
Or are we
us
overreacting or talagang it's right to be very
Worried,
vigilant about this?
Tama yan. In fact, mas kailangan talaga natin mas maging sincero dito sa ating campaign. Dahil nga sa una, hindi naman talaga natin alam na yung mga toys na ganito or yung mga children's products ay may mga klase ng chemicals na ginagamit yung mga manufacturers. At hindi talaga yan kadalasan nilalagay nila or sinasama nila sa labeling. That's the reason why natutuwa kami at meron na tayong labeling law, particularly dito sa mga toys. Ilan lang ito doon sa mga toys na talagang kailangan nating bantayan for example, this one, no? Yung isa dito kasi is yung tinatawag na bubble toys. Yung RAPEX, ito yung EU na nagmo-monitor ng lahat ng mga children's products. They categorize this as recalled na, no? So pinapabalik na to sa mga manufacturers.
Bubble toys, the one that produce-
Yung bubble toys, yan yung talagang when may liquid kasi siya.
Nagpo-produce ng bubbles.
Yes, nagpo-produce ng bubbles.
Okay.
Ang problema kasi niyan, dito sa atin kasi, ay meron tayong mga different categories ng hazards. Hindi lang ito yung particularly on chemicals. Meron din tayo, of course, yung mga laceration hazards or yung strangulation hazards. Itong bubble toy na to, ang kategorya ng sa EU ay microbiological. So may nakita kasi sila na hindi maganda doon sa concentration or yung content ng liquid
talaga?
doon sa bubble toy. Kaya pinarecall talaga yung mga bubble
okay.
toys.
Ang nagpa-recall lang ay European Union.
Oh yes, yung mga products na pumapasok sa kanila or papasok pa lang sa kanila, hindi na ina-allow yung mga bubble toys.
What about in the Philippines? Binabawal na ba to? Kasi may dala-dala ka nga eh. So,
Actually,
obviously, it's still
Hindi ba
available.
binabawal? But that's a good point kasi it's a fun thing, di ba? Nagbabubbles kang gano'n.
Posible
may dogs.
Posible dun sa kanilang ginagawang vigilant ng pag check nitong mga toy na to. Posible nagkaroon sila ng ilang cases na nag-report na accidentally na nainom nung bata yung liquid from the bubble toy. So that's why pina-recall talaga nila ito. At marami pa rin, no, natutuwa din tayo, maski ang US, yung Consumer Product Safety Commission, they have this also list ng lahat ng mga toys na minonitor nila and then they even tested it para ma-guide yung consumers natin na iwasan na itong mga toys na ito.
Mabalik tayo kay Gerald. Gerald, is DTI doing anything to monitor yung mga ganitong types of hazards that are being mentioned by Tony? Are they working together, yung Eco Waste Coalition and DTI?
Well, actually, meron kaming future issuance po nung IRR po nitong toy safety labeling. And part of our partnership is with the Eco Waste. Actually, nag-participate po sila sa ating public hearing noon, and we welcome their participation, their comments and inputs to give more teeth, ika nga, or what are those to be included in this particular toy labeling act.
So I think a lot of people still don't know that we now have this new law called
The toy.
Toy Labeling Act, Republic Act 10620, that requires manufacturers to label toys.
Yes.
But for those who are either parents or shopping for their pamangkins or whoever, for kids, what types of labels should they look out for to make sure na safe?
Unang-una kung mapapansin natin, halos parang generic, so-called generic na yung mga labeling dito. That's the reason why nagkaroon tayo ng batas na ganito at natutuwa tayo sa DTI, talagang pinupursige nila na magkaroon na ng implementing rules and regulations. Mahalaga yun dito tayo kasi sa batas natin, hindi pa may implement, otherwise there is an IRR. Ang maganda rito sa labeling, pinag-uusapan namin dito with DTI and other stakeholders, yung importance ng label na dapat, sabi nga yung mga consumer, pag pumunta sa isang store, hindi yung titingnan niya kaagad yung presyo. But rather, babasahin niya talaga at titingnan niya kung age appropriate ba ito, kung lahat ba ng mga informations na kailangan niya ay makakatulong sa kanya. For example, isang pinakamahalaga rito is yung language. May mga ibang toys kasi na talagang in other foreign language siya. Pero tinitinda pa rin.
Minsan may Arabian or Chinese, di ba?
Correct. Usually, yung toy itself na lang yung tinitingnan, kaya na-attract yung mga bata. So, sa labeling law, particularly dito sa IRR, sinasabi dito na kailangan it is written in English and in Tagalog. No? So, may Tagalog.
Pati in Tagalog, in the Philippines.
In Filipino na.
Ito ba ini-implement na or are we still in the process of the
Finalizing that.
finalizing.
I have a feeling it's not implemented because I went Christmas shopping for my mga pamangkins and inaanaks. I don't think I've seen a lot of, or barely, wala ataw nakitang toys that have Tagalog labels.
Oo, tama yan.
Oo. But can you tell us, Tony, anong types of risks are there if you end up buying yung mga toys with toxic substances or the bubble toys and kids use them or play with them?
Sige, dagdagan ko lang. So aside from the, supposedly it's written in our language, second is yung complete product information like yung manufacturers, yung address nito, saan pa pwedeng kumonta, for example, in case of emergency, yun dapat nandoon. Yung isang crucial information na kami pinupursige namin sa bahagi ng Eco Waste Coalition is yung chemical ingredients na ginagamit nila. For example, most of the toys that we tested since October, every month kasi papasok ng Christmas ay nagtetest tayo ng mga toys. Karamihan ng mga toys na ito ay talagang contaminated with lead. Ang lead ay makikita natin mismo doon sa mga paint na ginagamit dito sa mga toys na ito. For example, this parang toy gun, yung yellow part dyan ay talagang lead content talaga siya. So we use a machine. It is the same machine used by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. Tinitest nila ito at nakita natin na talagang contaminated siya with lead. And hindi ito makikita sa product label sa pakete itself, na hindi talaga yan ilalabas. So, dapat sana, bago pumasok yung mga toys dito, kung saan man siya galing, ay dapat na-screen talaga siya, na-monitor na siya ng ating government, especially yung mga line agencies na talagang nag-hold ng mga products na ito.
Who's responsible for the labeling?
That was my question. Gerald, who's responsible for checking the contents of the toys, kung may lead or may mga iba pang dangerous substances?
Maganda yung tanong niya, attorney. Meron po kaming coordination and cooperation with the Food and Drug Administration. Actually, yung pong ilalabas po natin na IRR, yung Implementing Rules and Regulation po nitong batas na ito, ay kasama ho natin dyan yung Food and Drug Administration. Bulk of that IRR, yung functions na yan, yung nabanggit mo kanina, yung mag-monitor, mag-check, is yung sa Food and Drug Administration. Sila po yung merong competence, kakayahan, kung hanggang kailan malalaman yung threshold ng isang lead At ito'y magiging poisonous or hazardous sa isang
Okay.
health
So,
ng
moving
children.
forward, itong under the law, yung Republic Act 10620, di ba? Who will be in charge of the labeling? Yung importer, yung manufacturer, gano'n ba? To be labeling.
Mangyayari niyan talagang mauobliga sila na baguhin yung packaging nila, yung pakete mismo ng mga products na ito.
And what are the penalties kung sakaling they don't follow?
Comply,
comply with that. Ano po yung mga penalties?
Sa labeling law, meron na eh. And also, of course, gagamitin na natin dyan yung Consumer Protection Act natin. And at the same time, yung Food and Drug Administration Act. No? So, we have a lot of laws na pwedeng mag-penalize. In fact, kung FDA Act ang pinag-uusapan, yung ganitong mga children's products, it's I think 500,000. And
500,000 yung penalty.
1 year and a half.
So meron ding imprisonment.
Imprisonment, yes.
So, in other words, one case, pwedeng 500,000 yung penalty. Ganun?
Yes.
So, multiple yun.
Kung multiple yun, no?
And if you're a parent, how can you test for toys the dangerous content or substances that are present in your kids'
Good
toys?
question. Yun nga yung rin sa yung ating campaign, no, na supposedly dapat bago yan ilabas dito sa market sa atin, ay na-test na lahat itong mga products na ito, meaning na-check na, lumabas na sa list ng DTI kung ito ay complying manufacturer, and then okay yan, no? Or yung product nila ay nag-pass na doon sa mga health and safety standards na meron tayo. Pero hindi ganun yung nangyayari. Ang nangyayari is pumapasok pa rin yung mga products. We don't know kung saan nanggagaling. No?
Yes.
Hindi siya, of course, doon sa formal course nung pagpasok ng product. No?
So,
maraming backdoors.
Ano yung remedy ngayon? Ano yung remedy ng mga parents? Ano yung choice nila ngayon? Or what can they do to protect their children now? No? Ngayon wala pa yung labeling law, yung toy labeling law. Ano yung how can they be assured na what they're buying is de kalidad tsaka hindi yung may mga substances na ganito?
Yung isa sa madalas natin na pinapaabot sa public, of course, meron naman ding mga guidelines. No? Like for example, ang isa ay hanapin natin yung tinatawag na LTO number. Yung LTO number, nilalagay ito doon sa mga products, especially children's product, meaning the manufacturer passes yung compliance na certify na or may certificate of conformity na yung manufacturer at they have a go signal to
ano itong LTO pala?
License to operate. Ini-issue ito doon sa mga products na na-test na ng ating government. No?
Okay.
So, yun yung isa sa hanapin. Second, of course, tingnan nila kung complete yung product information. Meaning, yung pangalan ng manufacturers, etc., addresses, and things na pwede nilang makatulong sa kanila if in case na magkaroon ng problema yung product itself or magkaroon ng problema yun dun sa mismong bata or sa member ng family nila na bibigyan nila nitong product na ito. And lastly, talagang i-assert nila yung kanilang right to information. Information i-gate talaga to dun sa mga manufacturers para yung ipoproduce nila ng mga products ay talagang magiging sabi nga ay magiging guide ng ating mga consumers sa pagbili ng kanilang mga produkto.
Okay.
Kanina, Tony, we flashed the number of Eco Waste Coalition. Is this something that they can ask or viewers can ask from your coalition, yung assistance in identifying safe products?
Pwede rin. In fact, they can also visit our blogspot. May most of the toys na natetest natin, pinopost talaga natin doon para makita nila, ma-visual at para maging guide din nila kung sakaling mamimili sila. At the same time, of course, we also recommend them to submit report para hindi lang kami yung nagre-report. We do our formal course of reporting. We submit reports to DTI. We even submit reports to our Food and Drug Administration. So, sana nga lang tulungan din kami ng mga consumers natin na talagang i-assert nila yung kanilang karapatan by way of filing complaints para hindi lang yung Eco Waste yung na hot seat with the parang sabi galit lagi yung mga manufacturers sa amin.
And this is last question, sorry, to tie this up with DTI. Would having a defective product, meaning defective in a sense na may lead content pala, be reason to demand from the store a refund?
Talaga naman dapat kaagad-agad na magkaroon ng refund yan. Kasi it's ang maapekto na ho is health nung nung mga bata.
How can they prove it po? Then how can they go to the store and say may lead to and it's
Usually kasi ang problema dyan, you'll have sales ladies na sila yung taga-bantay and they have no management authority to also say, sige, tatagawin namin. So they will insist, hindi namin alam na may lead yan, hindi namin kaya i-verify, and they will just refuse to accept it.
From a practical standpoint, di ba? Parang, one is walang authority yung sales lady as mentioned by Karen. Two, I can claim may lead to. Nagkasakit anak ko eh. So, is that, ano yung, in a practical sense, how do they go about complaining and getting remedy?
Ang pinaka-importante po dyan, ito yung layunin nung batas. Kailangan meron talaga siyang label hanggang saan yung pupwedeng yung content ng isang chemical or content ng isang laruan ng mga bata. Kung ito yung nakapasa nga sa sinasabi ko dito kanina nakasama natin si Mr. Tony Dizon, yung tinatawag nating LTO. Napaka-importante ho niyan. At ang mag-i-issue lang po niyan, it's yung ating FDA.
FDA. I see.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right.
Those are very helpful tips and very enlightening,
You learned a lot.
especially for
Yep.
toys. Now I'll be more careful when buying them.
Ito ba hindi nyo binibenta to, no? Just to make sure.
Yung bubbles, tinitignan na nila kanina.
Sigara kasi sabi niya, yung mga inaanak niyo daw, baka.
But thank you, Tony Dizon from Eco Waste Coalition, and of
Tony.
course, Mr. Gerard Calderon. Do you have an announcement?
Yes, I would like to share this info.
Yes.
Kung yung ating pong DTI Direct, open po yan, pati holidays, except December 25 and January.
So, DTI Direct.
Hindi ka na-convince mag-work ka on December 25.
So, how do they contact DTI Direct again?
Yung ating pong DTI Direct, it's 751-3330, or yung cellphone number po naman natin is 0917-834-3330.
Okay, very helpful for our viewers. So, to our viewers out there, please remember those numbers so that you can complain, lalo na kung ayaw pumayag ng mga refund or ng return or ng repair, because you are entitled to that. So, thank you again, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. Legal Help Desk will return after these messages. Welcome back to Legal Help Desk. Tonight we had a very useful topic.
Relevant
Relevant
topic, no?
for Christmas shoppers out there, but also for those who buy year long, because again, we always buy not only mga pang gifts but consumer items like groceries.
Right.
We learned today that even if you've already opened and eaten part of the product that you bought, if it is defective, you can return the same item and have it either replaced, refunded. Well, for food, hindi naman pwede i-repair. But viewers, please take note of those 3 R's.
Yeah.
Those are your remedies under the Consumer Rights Act. And you can get a refund, repair, or you can replace the item. So any other policy that restricts you to only one remedy, like replacement only, no refund, or no return, no exchange policies, lahat yan bawal. Those are prohibited policies.
Yeah, so anytime you have, let's say, a receipt issued to you or a memo given to you by one of the stall owners or even the sales lady, and nakalagay ito, no return, no exchange, you can actually complain, no, and tell them, bawal to. And if they insist on that policy, you can go to the DTI Direct. We gave you the numbers earlier, and you can check sa website ng DTI, no. All the numbers are there, so you can make a report like that. Also, just a quick point, and this is quite common. Myself personally, and Karen also, we also shop, and we normally would get policies like, okay, you can exchange, pero 7 days lang. I just purchased an item, no, a piece of wire, a piece of cable for my phone, and they told me 7 days. bawal po yan. Now, the warranty periods really have different warranty periods. May mga implied warranty periods. Iba-iba po for different products, no? But I think he mentioned not less than 60 days, di ba? And not more than a year. So it depends. Kung clothes yan, or apparel, or electronic gadget, iba-iba yung warranty periods. But the important thing is there are warranty periods. There is a warranty for all products. But very important, you have to keep your official receipt and your warranty card. Kasi without that, it will be harder for you to make any of the 3 R's na claims. Yung refund, replacement, repair.
Yeah. But then again, harder but not impossible. So for those who have lost their receipts, lalo na pag masyadong mahal yung item, you still have a remedy. You can execute an affidavit basically attesting that you bought it from that particular store, and you can still get the remedy of the 3 R's. And kanina we did not touch upon this, but for those who want to replace the item just because they changed their mind, unfortunately, this is something that you cannot do under the Consumer Rights Act, because yung mga mere change of mind, it's not a basis for getting a refund or replacement. So one, you also have to be vigilant when you're buying items, because if it's not defective, then those 3 R's, those 3 remedies are not available to you.
Meron din tayong principle na parang buyer beware nga, no? So you have to be vigilant also. May mga certain items, there's certain purchases that you make na it's your fault, it's the buyer's fault. So you have to be careful with that.
Kaya pag masyadong malaki or maliit yung damit, sukatin nyo. Kasi kung wala naman defect yan, you cannot exchange it.
Kunyari, you're buying something that's strawberry flavored, pero binili mo banana flavored, pero malinaw naman, nakalagay banana flavored. You know, you can't just do it that way, no? Na you're gonna replace it just because of your own carelessness. All right?
But lastly, Rod, pagka naman tinanong nyo yung store and they have a policy of allowing you to exchange if the item is too big or too small, then you can do that.
Okay. All right. Over the week, we have received comments from our viewers on our social media pages. Our first comment is from Kimiana, and she writes, I particularly liked your episode on wealth management. Very helpful. Thank you very much, Legal Help Desk. Thank you, Kimiana.
And I hope we help her save and accumulate wealth very well.
Yes.
And from Alvin, your episode on child abuse came at the perfect time. It helped me with my subject on CRIM 7, juvenile delinquency and children's rights. Looks like it's a law student.
You know what I feel bad on? When we were taking law, walang show like Legal HD.
That's true.
So we had to read their books.
It would have been a very good review. I read a comment before naman na this person was taking the bar exam, and he was saying that our show was very helpful in the review.
We're going to make a lot more lawyers. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I guess it's a good thing.
It's a good thing, yeah.
All right, that's all the time that we have for tonight. We'd like to thank you, our viewers, for sending us your questions, your legal questions, via our social media pages. I'm Attorney Rod Nepomuceno.
And I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno. If you have any questions about our topic for tonight, you may post these on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Join us again next Monday as we discuss your legal rights. Good night.
And Merry Christmas.